Have you ever wondered why you were born on a specific day? Your birth date is no accident. God placed you in this world at the exact moment for a precise reason. The Bible tells us, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." Jeremiah 1:5. This means that even before you were born, God had already laid out your destiny and chosen the moment of your birth with purpose. Jesus taught us that everything in our lives has a deeper meaning. Today, we're going to explore the scriptures to uncover the biblical significance of your birth month. Pay close attention. Certain months may indicate a special mission in your life, and if you've ever felt that you were chosen for something extraordinary, this is the moment to listen carefully. Many people feel like they were created for something more, something bigger than themselves. Maybe you've felt this too, a calling to something beyond the ordinary. You need to discover the dates that reveal a special gift from God. If your birthday falls on one of these dates, you were created for a purpose that goes far beyond the common. Leave a comment below with your birth date and let us know if you identify with the biblical meaning of your birth month. This is more than just curiosity. It's a step toward building a community of faith and support. As you watch this video, if you believe in God and enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and stick around until the end, because we're going to reveal the most powerful birth dates. Concept of chosen. From the moment we are born, something divine and invisible is working within us, guiding us toward a destiny far beyond what we can see with our eyes. Being chosen is not merely a matter of luck or chance, but a divine purpose established by God from the very beginning. The Bible reminds us that before we were formed in the womb, God knew us. Jeremiah 1:5. This purpose often reveals itself throughout our journey, manifesting as spiritual signs that guide us to understand that we are not here by mere coincidence. It's as if from the very start of our journey, there is a divine mission waiting to be fulfilled, a calling that transcends the limitations of everyday life. This calling, which may appear in various forms, is something God has chosen for us, and no matter how distant or challenging the paths we walk may seem, He is always guiding us. For many, this is seen as a miracle, a divine intervention that keeps their lives flowing in continuous purpose and Christian faith. Christian faith teaches us that regardless of circumstances, God's calling on our lives is unwavering. He chose us even before we were born, and our divine mission goes beyond our initial understanding. It's a journey of preparation and miraculous survival, one that sometimes requires accepting intense challenges, such as the Christian persecution that many face in their pursuit of truth and salvation. As you move through life, you will start to notice that the experiences and challenges you encounter are, in fact, part of this great mission. They are signs that you have been chosen. Every difficulty you face has a deeper purpose, often related to your spiritual growth and the fulfillment of God's plan in your life. As you reflect on this, you might begin to question, am I really chosen from the beginning? How do I know my life has this purpose? Stay with me as we explore the signs of this divine selection and how you can identify God's purpose in your own life as a calling to something much greater. The spiritual journey from birth, from the very first breath, it's as if an invisible force is guiding those who are chosen, leading them toward a divine purpose. It's important to understand that life doesn't just begin when we are born, but our soul is being prepared long before that. This preparation is subtle yet profound, unfolding over time, with God's hand shaping our journey, even when we don't fully recognize it. For those who have been chosen, there is a sense of being led by a higher power, an unseen hand that directs them toward a specific destiny. In the Christian faith, we believe that every life is part of a grand design, and God's plans for us start long before we come into the world. As we grow, we may not always be aware of the divine purpose at work within us, but deep down, there is a sense of being part of something greater than ourselves. This unseen force, often referred to as divine intervention, shapes our experiences and guides us, even through the hardest trials and most difficult moments of our lives. This process of preparation isn't always easy, but it's necessary for the survival of the chosen. Those who are destined for a greater purpose are often tested, refined, and molded in ways that others may not understand. Through hardships such as persecution and personal struggles, they begin to realize that these challenges are not coincidences, but part of a divine plan designed to strengthen them and prepare them for their mission. When we look back on our own spiritual journeys, we may see how God's hand was at work, even in the moments when we felt lost or confused. These are the times when we were being prepared, when our faith was being tested, and our hearts were being shaped for the purpose that God had set before us. The Christian faith tells us that every part of our journey, whether good or bad, has a purpose, and it all leads us to the fulfillment of God's plan for our lives. As we reflect on the start of our spiritual journey, we begin to realize that we are not here by accident. There is something bigger at play, something that has been with us since our very first breath, guiding us and leading us to the divine purpose we were created for. It's a journey of faith, a journey of survival, and a journey of divine intervention. Restlessness and the sense of being different from an early age. Those who are chosen often experience a feeling of being different from others. It's not just a sense of being out of place, but an inner knowing that there's something greater at work, a divine calling that cannot be ignored. This restlessness can manifest in various ways: an unshakable desire for truth, a yearning for meaning beyond the mundane, or a deep conviction that life is meant to be more than what it appears on the surface. It's this restlessness that drives the chosen ones to search for answers, even when they don't fully understand what they're seeking. This sensation of being set apart is one of the first signs that someone is chosen. It's a spiritual longing that cannot be filled by worldly things. No matter how much we try to fit in, there's always a feeling that we don't quite belong. This is where divine intervention plays a role, guiding us even when we don't understand what's happening. The feeling of being different is often the first indication that God is calling us to something higher, a purpose that transcends the ordinary. For those who are chosen, the path can feel lonely at times. The sense of isolation is real, but it's also a part of the preparation. It's a moment when God is refining the soul, teaching us to rely on Him fully. The Bible often speaks about the solitude that prophets and chosen ones experienced as they walked through their divine purpose. Think about the story of Elijah, who, even in his solitude, was deeply connected to God's will. 1 Kings 19. This sense of isolation, while challenging, is also part of the process of spiritual growth. As the chosen ones begin to feel this divine restlessness, they often seek out spiritual experiences that provide deeper understanding. These experiences can come in the form of dreams, visions, or moments of divine insight. Even when they don't fully comprehend what's happening, they begin to trust the process, believing that God is guiding them toward a higher purpose. These early signs are part of the miraculous survival that defines the spiritual journey, when God's guidance is felt most profoundly. As you reflect on this, you might begin to recognize moments in your own life where you felt different, or when your soul longed for something greater. Those feelings were not accidental. They were divine signs, sacred whispers from God, drawing you closer to your true purpose. And as we move forward in our journey, we'll see how these signs unfold and deepen, leading us to a more profound understanding of God's call. Spiritual experiences and signs in childhood. In childhood, many who are chosen begin to experience the supernatural in ways that others may not understand. These experiences are not always visible to the naked eye, but they are deeply felt in the soul. From a young age, the chosen ones often have a heightened sensitivity to the spiritual world. This could manifest as vivid dreams, encounters with angels, or moments of intense peace that seem to come out of nowhere. These are the early signs of divine intervention, moments when the invisible realm touches the earthly one, guiding and protecting the child, even when they may not fully grasp what is happening. The feeling of being set apart can be overwhelming at times, and it can lead to a sense of isolation. Children who are chosen may feel like they don't fit in with their peers, and at times they may struggle with this sense of being different. But these moments of isolation are not without purpose. God uses these times to refine their spirits, preparing in them for the challenges that lie ahead. Just as Jesus experienced solitude and persecution, those who are chosen are often called to walk a path that requires them to rely on God's strength, even when they are alone. In these early years, the chosen ones are being spiritually shaped. The experiences they have, even if they don't fully understand them, are laying the groundwork for the mission they will eventually fulfill. It's in these moments of divine protection and guidance that they are being prepared for the challenges that will come later in life, whether it's a sense of peace during a difficult time or a whisper from God that brings clarity in a moment of confusion. These experiences are sacred and should be cherished. The Bible is full of examples of God's intervention in the lives of his chosen ones, even in their youth. Consider the story of Samuel, who heard God's voice calling him as a child. 1 Samuel 3:10. This was the beginning of his divine mission. Just as Samuel was called by God at a young age, so too are those who are chosen, often marked by experiences that point them toward a greater purpose. These experiences are not just coincidences, they are divine moments, preparing the child for what is to come. As you reflect on your own childhood, you might recall moments where you felt a connection to something greater than yourself. These experiences, no matter how small or subtle they seemed at the time, were part of the divine plan. God was preparing you, even in your youth, for the incredible journey ahead. These spiritual moments are the foundation of your divine calling, and they continue to shape the person you are becoming. Spiritual awakening in adolescence. As adolescence begins, the chosen ones often experience an intense internal struggle. This is the time when many start questioning their purpose, their place in the world, and the meaning of the divine calling they have sensed since childhood. The spiritual awakening during these years can feel overwhelming as doubts arise and the challenges of life seem to intensify. However, it is also during this period that many of those who are chosen begin to feel the stirring of God's plan in their lives more clearly. The process of spiritual awakening is not always smooth. It can be filled with doubts, confusion, and moments of doubt about one's faith. It's a time when the pressure to conform to the world's standards can feel suffocating, especially when those who are chosen are aware that they are different. Yet this period of struggle is essential for growth. Just as Jesus faced the trials of temptation in the desert, Matthew 4:1-11, the chosen ones are often tested in ways that refine their faith and prepare them for the greater purpose that lies ahead. During adolescence, many begin to experience deeper spiritual revelations. They may feel a call to serve others, to help those in need, or to stand firm in their beliefs despite the opposition. This is part of the spiritual awakening, the realization that their purpose is not just for their own benefit, but for something greater than themselves. The Bible tells us that we are created for good works, Ephesians 2:10. And during these formative years, the chosen begin to understand more clearly the mission that God has prepared for them. At this stage, the chosen ones often feel a heightened sense of responsibility. The weight of knowing that they have a divine mission can feel heavy, but it is also a source of strength. As they struggle with the world's pressures, they are being prepared for the unique role they will play in God's grand design. It's during these years that many of the chosen develop a deeper understanding of the sacrifices they must make, and the courage they will need to fulfill their divine calling. This period of awakening is critical in shaping the chosen ones into the leaders, prophets, and servants they are destined to become. The trials faced during adolescence are not just obstacles, they are opportunities for spiritual growth. Just as the Israelites wandered in the desert to prepare for the promised land, the struggles of adolescence are a necessary part of the journey toward fulfilling God's greater purpose. Challenges and preparation for the greater mission. As the chosen ones move forward in their spiritual journey, the challenges they face become more intense. These challenges are not random. They are designed to refine and strengthen the soul. The Bible reminds us that those who are called by God are often tested in ways that others may not understand. This testing serves as preparation for the greater mission that awaits them. Just as Jesus faced trials, rejection, and persecution, Matthew 27:31, the chosen are called to endure hardships that mold them into vessels of divine purpose. The challenges faced during this phase of the journey can feel isolating and overwhelming. However, they are part of the divine plan to prepare the chosen ones for the responsibilities they will carry in fulfilling God's purpose. These trials are not meant to break them, but to build them up, to help them develop a deep and unwavering faith. It is through these difficult moments that the chosen ones learn to rely fully on God, knowing that their strength comes from Him. During this time, many of the chosen ones begin to understand that their journey is not just about personal growth, but about being a part of something far greater than themselves. They are being prepared to serve others, to lead, and to carry out the mission that God has set before them. These challenges help them to develop the courage, resilience, and compassion they will need as they step into their calling. The persecution they face, whether from others or from internal struggles, is a reminder that they are walking a path that requires great strength and faith. In these moments of challenge, it's crucial for the chosen to remember that they are never truly alone. God's presence is with them, guiding them and strengthening them through every trial. The Bible tells us that when we face trials, God will never leave us or forsake us. Hebrews 13:5. The trials and challenges are the very tools God uses to shape the chosen ones into the individuals they are meant to become. As the chosen continue to navigate these trials, they begin to realize that they are being prepared for a greater mission, one that will impact not only their own lives, but the lives of others as well. These challenges, while difficult, are the very means by which God is preparing them for the divine purpose that awaits. Spiritual awakening in adulthood. As the chosen ones reach adulthood, a deeper sense of purpose begins to take root within them. This is the moment when they start to understand with greater clarity the mission they have been preparing for all their lives. The journey that began with small signs and subtle divine interventions now begins to unfold into a larger purpose, one that will shape not only their lives, but also the lives of those around them. It's a time of awakening, a moment when the chosen realize that they are no longer just drifting through life. They are walking with God on a mission. The challenges of adulthood often bring a new level of pressure and responsibility. There is a sense of urgency as the chosen ones begin to realize that their purpose is not just a personal journey, but one that has a wider impact. This awareness can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. The pressure to fulfill this divine calling, to live out the purpose that God has ordained, can sometimes feel like a heavy burden. However, it is also a sign that they are exactly where they are meant to be. In adulthood, many of the chosen begin to feel the weight of the world's expectations. Family, career, relationships, and the pressures of everyday life can distract them from their spiritual mission. But it is in these moments of pressure that the chosen are called to step into their true purpose. Just as Jesus faced the weight of the world's sins on the cross, John 19:30, the chosen ones are called to bear their own crosses with grace and determination, knowing that their divine purpose is greater than any earthly struggle. This spiritual awakening in adulthood is a reminder that the journey of the chosen ones is not about personal success or recognition. It's about fulfilling God's will and serving others. The chosen ones begin to understand that their lives are not their own. They belong to God, and their purpose is to bring glory to Him by fulfilling the mission He has set before them. This understanding brings a sense of peace, knowing that their lives are part of a divine plan. As adulthood brings new challenges and responsibilities, the chosen begin to walk in their purpose with more confidence. They are no longer uncertain about their calling, they understand it fully. This awakening is a powerful moment in the life of the chosen, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their journey, a chapter where they embrace their divine purpose and walk boldly into the mission that God has prepared for them. Acceptance and awareness of the divine purpose. As the chosen ones continue their journey, they reach a point of acceptance. It's a moment when they finally come to terms with the fact that they have a divine purpose, one that is not only significant but also requires action. This acceptance is liberating, for it brings clarity to the many years of confusion, doubt, and struggle. It is when they stop questioning their purpose and begin to embrace it wholeheartedly that they start to see the greater picture, understanding that every experience, every trial has led them to this very moment. The awareness of a divine purpose brings peace, but it also brings responsibility. The chosen ones realize that they are not merely passive recipients of God's grace, but active participants in His plan. This realization comes with a deep sense of duty to fulfill the mission that God has entrusted them with, whether it is in ministry, in service to others, or in their daily lives. The chosen understand that they are here for a reason, and their purpose is far greater than their own desires or ambitions. The Bible tells us that we were created for good works, and as the chosen ones accept their purpose, they begin to see how their actions, no matter how small, are part of God's grand design, Ephesians 2:10. This awareness brings them closer to God, as they recognize that everything they do is a reflection of His will. The purpose they were created for is not just about their own personal fulfillment, but about impacting the world around them, bringing light into darkness, and sharing the love of God with others. Acceptance of this divine purpose is also a moment of spiritual maturity. It is when the chosen ones stop fighting against God's will and begin to align their lives with His plan. This process may not be easy, but it is a crucial step in their spiritual journey. As they accept their role in God's plan, they also begin to experience the peace and joy that come with fulfilling their purpose. This acceptance is not the end of the journey, but rather a new beginning. A beginning where they fully step into their calling with confidence and clarity. As you reflect on your own life, think about the moments when you began to realize that your life had a greater purpose. These moments of awareness are significant. They mark a turning point in your journey, a moment when you begin to understand that you were chosen for something greater. Embrace that purpose, for it is God's divine calling, and it is meant to bring glory to Him and fulfill His plan for your life. Responsibility and challenges in fulfilling the purpose. Once the chosen ones accept their divine purpose, they quickly realize that with this acceptance comes a profound responsibility. This responsibility is not just about personal growth or success, but about fulfilling a higher calling, one that serves God and others. The chosen are not meant to live for themselves, but for the greater good. And as they step into their divine purpose, they are faced with the challenges that come with such a significant mission. These challenges often feel overwhelming, but they are essential in shaping the character of the chosen and refining their faith. The path of fulfilling God's purpose is rarely smooth. It's marked by obstacles, doubts, and opposition from the world around them. Just as Jesus faced rejection and persecution, Matthew 27:31, those who are chosen are often met with resistance. But this resistance is not a sign to turn back. It is a confirmation that they are on the right path. The more resistance they face, the more certain they can be that they are walking in alignment with God's will. One of the greatest challenges is the pressure from the outside world. People may question their decisions, their faith, and their choices. It can be difficult to stand firm in the face of doubt and criticism, but the chosen ones must remember that their ultimate allegiance is to God. The Bible tells us that those who stand firm in their faith, despite opposition, will be rewarded, Matthew 5:10-12. The challenges faced in fulfilling their purpose serve as a test of their commitment to God's plan. As they navigate these challenges, the chosen must also be willing to make sacrifices. Whether it's giving up personal desires, relationships, or comforts, the path to fulfilling their divine purpose often requires laying down their own will for the sake of the greater good. Just as Jesus sacrificed himself for humanity, John 15:13, the chosen must be willing to lay down their own lives in service to God's purpose. This is not a call for martyrdom, but for living a life of selflessness, humility, and obedience to God's will. The weight of responsibility can feel heavy at times, but it is in these moments of challenge that the chosen grow stronger in their faith. They learn to trust God more deeply, to rely on His strength, and to persevere in the face of adversity. The difficulties they encounter are not setbacks, but opportunities to deepen their relationship with God and strengthen their resolve to fulfill the divine purpose He has set before them. Conclusion and call to action. As the journey of the chosen ones unfolds, it becomes clear that they have a divine purpose, one that is far greater than they ever imagined. The path may be difficult, and the challenges may seem insurmountable at times, but each step brings them closer to fulfilling the mission that God has set before them. They are not alone on this journey. God's guidance and strength are with them every step of the way. The experiences, the trials, and the spiritual awakenings have all been leading to this moment, when the chosen ones finally step into their full purpose and begin to live out the calling they were chosen for. The journey is not complete until the chosen embrace their role in God's plan and take action. Now is the time to step forward with courage and confidence, knowing that the divine purpose is already in motion. It's time to move from preparation to action, from doubt to certainty, from fear to faith. The world is waiting for those who are called to step into their purpose and fulfill the mission that God has ordained for them. It's important to remember that the journey of the chosen is not just about individual fulfillment. It's about making an impact on the world around them. Whether through ministry, service to others, or living out their faith in their daily lives, the chosen are called to be a light in the darkness. Their actions, no matter how small, can have a ripple effect that brings glory to God and draws others closer to Him. Now is the time to act. If you've been feeling that stirring in your heart, that sense that you were created for something greater, it's time to step into your purpose. Don't wait any longer. Trust that God has been guiding you every step of the way, and now He is calling you to take action. Embrace your purpose with confidence, knowing that He has equipped you for everything that lies ahead. Your journey has only just begun, and the impact you will have on the world will be far greater than you can imagine. The call is clear, and the time is now. Step forward with faith, knowing that you were chosen for this moment. Now that you've discovered the powerful truths about being chosen and the divine purpose behind your life, I want to ask you, are you ready to step into that purpose with confidence and faith? How will you embrace the calling that God has placed upon your life? I encourage you to reflect on the journey ahead and take action, trusting that you were created for something extraordinary. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's connect and support each other as we walk this path of faith together. And if this message spoke to you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another life-changing video. Also, check out the next video that's about to appear on your screen. It's the perfect follow-up to everything we've discussed today. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for watching, and remember, you were chosen for a reason. Stay strong in your faith and keep moving forward with God by your side.